Lesson 5. Today focuses on state shifting. So aim to come to this lesson with no preconceptions, no anticipation, forcing something, collecting something, expecting or feeling a result. Can you be in your body for the sake of being in your body? So this is right brain play and curiosity. We'll look at interactive awareness, listening inwardly, so sensing into the feel, the taste, the smell, the sound, the aliveness, and the interactions between. This lesson is resting on purpose with your whole body and being, shifting from stress, hypervigilance, reactive, to relaxed, centered, and grounded. Come home to a natural state of being. Expanding Qigong. One expanding for kelp, feeling the ocean move you, reaching, melting, softening, letting go of everywhere at once, carefree and spontaneous, staying rooted from the knees down, like your knees are buried in the sandy seabed, whilst the kelp reaches towards the sun, and then softening, releasing as the tide draws back out. No choreography, letting the ocean move you wherever you go, releasing into that, softening, returning to neutral. Resetting your structure, bringing the palms in front of the lower abdomen, and we'll come into sense awareness now. So as we open and close the palms with our Lana practice, I want you to feel into the opening, the lengthening, and then the softening and the releasing. Staying connected to the elastic quality of the surface of the inside of the whole of your palm. Not adding anything, simply feeling and sensing in. Bringing your attention to the interaction between the muscles, the tissues, and the movement and the breath. almost like you're moving through a sticky glue-like quality or treacle. Slight soft resistance as you open and lengthen, and then a softening and releasing as you close. Feeling and sensing in, using all of your senses to taste or sip with the palms. Then bringing the palms down by the sides, ancestral whiskers. Turning the waist from side to side and shifting states, we want to come into the felt sense body here. Feeling once again through the muscles and tissues as you lengthen, reach and melt. Imagining that your fingertips become whiskers and the whiskers reach across the ocean, across the land, sipping and tasting with your senses into the aliveness of the day. Sensing into the season, the weather, not adding or forcing anything, just feeling into what is with your senses. Paying gentle attention, grounding through sense awareness, breathing deeply. Coming back to center. And now we'll explore interactive awareness with elephant based ears. So imagining that your elephant ear is this big, leathery, almost heavy hanging like quality, one ear on each side of the body. The nose would be the trunk. And as you start to walk through the jungle as an elephant, bring your awareness to imagined resistance of the ear moving through water. So water have this fluid, heavy, drawing down quality, which would make the hanging of the ear and just feel what it would feel like playing with your right brain, your imagination. It's not literal in any way, we're just playing. And again, it doesn't matter what it looks like if it goes a bit awry. When we come into state shifting, it's what does it feel like? Feeling through the muscles and tissues as your ear pulls through the water gently. Almost that the ear is going to ripple through the water. Bringing the palm forwards, dripping down, almost swishing your ear in the water, using the 3 basins to bring the ear behind you. And on a day like today, where it's beautiful spring weather, going to start drying the ear in the sun. and feeling the interactions between the sun and the skin. This hand's just for counterbalance. Reaching and melting, softening through the shoulder. Good alignment with your knees, your three basins. Turning navel, sternum and nose. And even if it's not sunny where you are in your practice space, it's feeling into the qualities of drying out, the sun radiating down onto the arm, to come into that sense awareness or interactive awareness with a little bit of playfulness and curiosity. Bring the palm up behind. And now we'll just soften the shoulders down. And when the arm is, or ear, your elephant ear is swishing behind you, this is now drying out in the wind or the breeze. So feel into the quality of your ear drying in the breeze. What would it feel like? What is it like? Noticing interactions, feeling into the sensations. Back to walking through water. And we'll do the other side. Hanging down. Moving your ear through the water. Come up to upright, almost feeling the drip, drip, drip of water dripping off of the fingers. Use the three basins to turn behind you, and then we'll start drying this ear in the wind. Sorry, excuse me, the sun. Feeling the sun radiating on the skin. Sensing in. Being playful, curious. Not worrying about the choreography, just feeling how does it feel to have the sun dry your elephant ear. And when the hand comes back across, use the three basins again, turn the palm up and over, soften the shoulder blades front and back, and dry your ear. Now in the breeze, a soft wind, noticing interactions between the skin and the breeze. And what does it feel like for your elephant ear to be in the wind? A drying out, softening quality. This hand is just counterbalance. Good structure, three basins. And then back to elephant bathing its ears. And notice if the shoulders feel a little bit different. Come back to center. Reset your alignment. Hands float on water. Imagining from the waist down, you're standing in water and the hands are floating on the surface of the water with a buoyancy, almost a supporting quality, so that you're not holding the arms up. You can rest the shoulders down as the water is going to support you. Scooping down, and we want to explore the feeling of piercing and spiraling through the clouds, pushing against the momentum of the clouds, and then with the heels of the palms pushing the clouds out over the horizon, as we then soften back to hands float on water. Scooping through, piercing, You want that piercing, moving through something quality, and then pushing maybe left to right, separating the clouds, returning to hands float on water. Feeling into the interactions between the muscles, tissues, the movement and the intention of piercing the clouds, pushing the clouds with a little bit of imagined resistance, softening down, floating the hands down to the water. One more. Separating, dispersing, and then softening. Back down to neutral. Reset your alignment if you need to. Come into your ready stance. Breath work. So it is an essential part of shifting states. There are different techniques that can help you maintain focus in the internal body through feeling and sensing interactions. And it's one of the quickest ways to down-regulate from the stress response. So whilst we're standing, I want you to bring your mind's eye, your feeling brain, to the muscles and membranes between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. And this practice is the beginnings of what we call the inner elastic vessel breath work. You're going to be exploring the breath and observing the interactions between the muscles and the tissues, playing very gently with elasticity and tone. So the muscles between here and here, this is called our lower elastics, our lower basin. You have an elastic front to back, which goes from the navel through to opposite navel on the spine. An elastic side to side, just above the top of the hips, that's left to right. And then an elastic up and down, which is up to diaphragm and down to the pelvic floor. So it's this very core that we're working on. Soften and bend through the knees and the hips, pelvis like a bowl, swimming spine upright into all of your alignment principles, closing the mouth and the teeth. Bringing your awareness to the lower elastic that goes from navel to opposite navel, imagining it just like an elastic band. As you inhale, the elastic is lengthening apart, and as you exhale, the elastic is slightly pulling back together. And the breath will follow the elastic. Inhaling, expanding front and back. Exhaling, releasing, and a slight pulling between front and back, equal and opposing pressure. And you're in charge of how subtle or intense you make your elastic engagement. I suggest subtle. Inhale into the lower abdomen, lengthening the elastic front to back. Feeling that slight expansion, noticing the engagement of the membranes as they slightly stretch apart. And then exhale, the front to back elastic just pulls in gently without force. Few more breaths, working with your front to back lower elastic. And then see if you can now work with side to side. So where the middle of that elastic was, place another elastic over it. And as you inhale, the elastic's going to lengthen and everything spreads apart. And as, not the hands here, and as you exhale, there's a slight pulling side to side as you come into center. Inhale, opening left to right. Exhale, releasing and slight pulling side to side as you come in. So playing with your side to side lower elastic for a few breaths, feeling through the engagement of the muscles and tissues, and then the release and the slight pulling towards the end. And you may notice that the front and back elastic is rubbing on the side to side elastic, but we're not doing the front and back right now. And then one more, our up and down elastic, so where the middle of those elastics meeting are, where they rub a little bit as they expand. Let's now work between diaphragm and pelvic floor. As you inhale, the pelvic floor releases down and the diaphragm raises up. And as you exhale, pelvic floor up and diaphragm comes down. And it's a subtle quality, you don't want to be clenching into the body. So playing with your up and down elastic. Inhale as you lengthen the elastic out, slight expansion, and as you exhale, release, and then a slight pull towards the center. Working between the muscles and tissues, between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. And you can probably understand, with something so involved with feeling into the awareness and interactions and sensations with all the lower elastics, it's completely impossible to think of yesterday, tomorrow. You're only in now, and you're in your body for the sake of being with your body. You're playing with imagination, elasticity, tone, sensation, interaction. And all of this together, when you go past a 20-minute practice, imagine doing this for an hour. This is the easiest and most effective way to shift states and to come back into that state of natural being, which we want to be in all of the time, and not this modern demand, what now, anticipatory mind. And just for fun, for the next 3 breaths, try expanding all elastics at the same time as we inhale. Front, back, side, side, up, down. So everything in this flexible sphere, like an egg, opens. And then when we exhale, we're releasing front, back, side, side, up and down, and a slight pull of all of those areas in towards the middle. Inhale into your 3 elastics, front, back, side, side, up, down. And exhale, release, front, back, side, side, up, down. One more breath. We'll now go through dredging, and I want you to imagine that we're going to draw anything turbid through the body, and we're going to use a sigh to disperse through the mouth. So into monkey holds cauldron posture. Inhale as you draw up the body, coming through all the organs. Raise up by the mouth, and when you pass the mouth, sigh. The exhale, the hands push away and the arms come down to the earth. Monkey holds cauldron again. Drawing up through the body, anything turbid is going to be cleared, and exhaling that through the mouth. Not adding to anything or making anything up, just playing with our imagination. And we'll go through one bathing, which is the opposite. Inhale as the palms raise up, spiral through the armpits, reaching up into the sky. And then drawing down whatever is clear, coming back through the organs and releasing down. Closing salutation.